recent research has revealed that the arts help our children in multiple ways. Experiences in the arts help children succeed in school. In fact, students who participate in the arts demonstrate improved academic performance and lower dropout rates. The arts help students succeed in life. For example, low-income students who are highly engaged in the arts are more than twice as likely to graduate college as their peers with no arts education. The arts help students succeed in work. 72% of business leaders say creativity is the #1 skill they look for in hiring. We made a recent visit to Inspire School of Arts and Sciences in Chico, California. The stories that students and teachers told bear out these statistics. We heard that the arts help students find their thing, their drive, and their passion.
And when it comes to technical theater, I would say that it's so fulfilling to put all of this stuff together and know that it's going out on stage and know that what I'm doing is meaningful for the production and for the audience that's out there watching it for 2.5 hours or 2 hours. And, we're not sitting there, we are pouring our blood, sweat, and tears into a 2-hour production, and we're spending months on it. And I love knowing that no matter how small my job is in that production or in the video or the cinema that I'm creating, without me, it would be different. Not any worse or any better, but just different. And I love knowing.
So what I'm trying to give to the kids is a voice, a way of expressing themselves. And so this year I had a student, we talk about creativity and it's like this beautiful end goal and game, but really it breaks down to really simple, hard fought and learned skills. It's composition, how to arrange what you're doing. It's drawing, how to start a drawing and how to finish it. It's color theory and how to mix colors. And this year I had a student, and she actually left because of the campfire halfway through the year, which I was so sad to see her go. But she was with her second year with me, and her journal that she started her freshman year, and you can see her art that was good for a freshman, but it didn't quite, it wasn't what I would call stellar art. And then for her to come back her sophomore year, and all of her work feels intentional, and it feels polished, and it feels like good craftsmanship and like excellent composition. And it was all those little skills that I'm trying to teach them throughout the years come together. But the beautiful part was that it was her heart and it was her soul in that piece of art. And so for me, being an art teacher, it's yes, the skills are important, drawing's important, composition's important, it's all of that, but it's what are you going to talk about? What are you going to express? And do I even care? Do I even want to look at it? And to see a kid in her second year start to achieve that on her own terms is powerful.
My thing is video and digital cinema, anything that involves making a cool film. But there's something about video and video editing that really makes me more creative, and it makes my message more pronounced, and that's why I like learning about the whole process.
We heard that the skills students learn in their arts classes build success in other parts of their lives.
I've had certainly students come in that are very shy, not very outspoken, stick to themselves, and they seem to, some of them seem to kind of blossom within the program, especially in video production, where they get to be, behind the scenes, behind the camera, behind the edit, but also through that process start to build sort of friendships and that teamwork that comes with your production crew and the social skills that they start to create or have because they're forced into those, sort of positions. And so multiple, I'm thinking in my head, multiple students that really just transition from that shy, behind the camera, not sure of themselves, student to a confident, team leader, outspoken sort of student based on, the structure of the classes and the project-based learning and the teamwork that goes on within those classes.
Also, I feel like knowing like the rules of composition, like the rule of thirds and the golden rule and everything, I think they're helpful for everything in life because life is very ritual. So I feel like I'll use them forever.
Mm-hmm. Like in what ways?
In what ways? Like sketching things for science classes, taking photos. I imagine that like when I have like an adult job, I'll have to like show people what I mean, and drawing is a good way to do that. Does that make sense?
We heard that arts education gives students the opportunity to feel a sense of accomplishment.
And it definitely, video is like, it's another form of art basically. It's another way of expressing, yourself in video. It's trying to capture your thoughts and your ideas, everything that's in your head. And something like video, it's great to visualize, being able to put that down and see your work, and then, after you've done all the editing, you've completed it all, acting, whatever you've done with the video, and then you look at it and you're like, wow, look at this, this is amazing,
Yeah.
So I feel like video is one of the best ways, in my opinion, which is why I love video so much, to really capture what you capture what you're thinking, It's a wonderful process, and I really do enjoy it. Video a lot.
Whose life can I change today? Whose moment is it going to be? Whose light bulb's going to turn on? Who's going to have a bad day and need me to be there for them? Who's going to have that breakthrough? And I don't want to miss that. I want to be part of that, and I know I can be that person. Many students come from hard family lives, and sometimes people think that means like poverty or neglect or whatever you want to call it. But some students who are very well off, I guess there would be, often have issues as well as like being seen or expressing themselves, and the opportunity to be something at Inspire or in class or create this art that's holistically theirs is really important.
Personally, coming into music, I've done it my whole life, but I couldn't put together emotion and singing. Like, I understood the emotion, but I couldn't convey it. And it wasn't until, honestly, like when the campfire occurred, I got asked to perform with the Synergism concert. Miss Lim asked me, and I sang this song, and I didn't know it. I learned it in a day, and it was the first time where I had honestly felt like I could have, like, cried right then when I was singing it. It was silent. It was like, it took a moment to know like what was actually being said within those words. And since then, like, I feel like every song that I've sang, I've had a completely different mindset with it.
We heard that the arts give students a vision for their future.
I know that I'm always going to be an artist, and I just don't know what kind yet. Whether it be a performing artist or whether it be a creative behind-the-scenes artist in film or theater or whatever it may be. I just know that I have to, for myself, create, and I love presenting that side of creating where... as I talked about earlier, having a project and presenting upon it. And I think, art is also a loose term. And I just know, because when you think of artist, you think of, I don't know, a painter is what I think of. But I think an artist is someone who's brave enough to have an idea in their head and bring it forth. And I know that I'm going to keep doing that, whatever it be.
Nothing. I want to become a professional dancer when I get older, but I also want to train in kinesiology for dancers. So that's my goal, is to have like a program for dancers to learn about kinesiology and like your body and just like the placement of being a dancer. But first I have to become a professional dancer first to teach it.
We heard that arts teachers have the power to transform students' lives.
What I have had them come back and tell me, well, what I have seen in their process through Inspire is that they often come in as freshmen and they know they love to sing, but they don't really have any idea what they can do. So you start teaching them and believing in them. And you start going through this process and helping them grow up through their whole musical process. And then these breakthroughs that seem to happen often in senior year. So what they've come back and said to me is that it's made a huge difference in their choices post high school to know that somebody actually believed they could do it. Yeah. And especially for an artist, there's so much fear that you can't. And there's so much comparing. And so I think they go out with courage, belief in themselves, tools, and they're equipped to go to the next level of learning.
So we know that an education in the arts helps students succeed in school, work, and life. Yet 89% of California K-12 schools fail to offer a standards-based course of study in all 4 disciplines. And students in high-poverty schools have far less access to the arts than those in more affluent communities. But you can be an important part of creating solutions to the problem of inequity in arts education. As members of the North State Arts Education Consortium, we can learn together, grow together, and advocate for our students. We can work toward a future where every child in our region gets the opportunity to receive an education in the arts.
Yeah, well, I'll start off with like thank you, because like if I haven't started, if they didn't teach me like the basics or the foundation of dance, then I'd be all over the place. I wouldn't know anything. And yeah, they just like built me from the bottom and worked my way up to the top, and it's helped me become such like a more better dancer and a more better person too.